In this video, I am going to show you how I do my mixed media backgrounds. I did it this way for this one, and I did it this way for, I don't know if I'll get that one, pretend it's straight. And this one, I don't know if you can see that one, the eye up there, that one's for my daughter. It might be too high for you. For the background, she's still a work in progress. I'm not finished with her, but we're going to do this background. This is actually the background that I do in the video. I wish I'd thought to do this intro before I put a face on here, but I didn't. So, but this is her. This is the background that we're going to do. You can use whatever colors you want to. This is just how I do it. I just love mixed media. I love the textures that appear on the face when you do it, when you do mixed media. I just love all the layers. They're so fun to me. But I do the same thing in a lot of my art journals. I'll do the mixed media look on the art journals and glue just bits of paper on all my pages because it's fun. And in this video, you'll see that I am covering up an old painting of mine. It was actually a tutorial I did with the Art Sherpa while I was learning to paint. It's a geisha. So you'll see that. And I'm sorry, it hurts some people when they see me cover up paintings, but a lot of them were just to learn. And then I wanted to move on and do some originals. And so a lot of the tutorials that I did, I'm covering up so that I can do my own stuff. So anyways, enjoy and have fun painting this background with me. I'm going to do the audio for this one. I thought it might be more fun than just having the text up. So the way that I start the majority of my paintings is I use matte gel medium as glue, and I just rip up papers and I stick them down. I use old books, normally the romance novels, because I don't feel so bad ripping them up. But I have scrapbook papers, and I have paper bags and just bits of old post-it notes and anything that I can find. I even use paper in the background on my desk, and I get paint all over it, and then I use it for backgrounds later in paintings. So I like to smooth out all of the bubbles, which is what I'm doing right now in the video. And I use a hairdryer to dry it because sometimes I just don't feel like waiting. And so I check the bubbles. Sometimes I will smooth them down with my fingers. I will use extra glue if needed. I just like to make sure it's nice and dry before I move on to the next step. So here I'm using gesso, just a thin layer, to go over everything and sort of even it out. Sometimes I don't use gesso. Sometimes I'll use a different color. But often I'll use gesso. It's my favorite one. It dries quickly. It goes on smooth and thin, so you can see you can still see the patterns behind it or the words behind it. Not enough that it's a distraction, but enough. Okay, here I'm using the palette knife to glue down any pieces that might be popping up. There was an air bubble there, so I just stuck a little hole in it and stuck some glue in and smoothed it down. That one apparently had a big air bubble. Okay, so with this one I decided I was going to do a thin coating of orange. However, once I got started, I realized I did not like the orange. So I changed my mind and switched over to green. I wiped that off the best I could. But in the end, I was like, you know what, I don't really care. They can have an orange tint over there. That's cool. So I decided to do a thin layer of green instead. I just thought it went better with the background, because I liked the way that the green from that my brain has gone blank now. Anyways, the green paper in the background. I like the way it came through. I like the colors it had, so I decided to just switch to the green paint. And here I'm using a paper towel to help wipe it away, so it stayed stained, but it wasn't too thick. So you could still see all those cool patterns and colors back there. Now I've pulled out my brown ink and squirt it with a little bit of water. So this is acrylic ink, and I don't remember the exact color it is, but it is a brown, one of the browns. And then I just squirt it with the water and let it run down the canvas, because I just really like how that looks. And I just use a paper towel and pat it so that it's not quite so heavy. I decided to make drips go sideways. I didn't really like the look of this once I did it, but once it was done, I was like, there's not really much I can do. But it's okay, because it's mixed media and you can do all kinds of crazy things with it. So again, I'm just patting it dry and smudging it up a little bit. I kind of like the grungy look, so I tend to do that a lot. More green paint, apparently. What am I doing? I don't remember. Oh, I took a stamp. And so I have this stamp. It has a whole bunch of cursive words in it. I can't really read it, but I love it as a background. It wasn't coming through very well, but I'm using stretched canvas, so it's very, it's like a trampoline in the middle. So whenever I was pressing down, it wasn't getting it. So I realized I had to stick my hand up underneath it and press back. So I was squishing it with both sides, from both sides, and then it worked. And so with this, I just like doing mark making. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I just like patterns in the background. So I'm using a wet wipe and just wiping off the stamp the best I can. My stamps and my stencils all look rough, but that's okay. They still serve their purpose. They do their job. I'm pulling out yellow ochre, I believe. Oh, I'm making rings everywhere. I like doing circles. So I do circles a lot. And what this is it's a, it holds a sponge. And I just take the sponge out and I use it to make circles. But you can use toilet paper rolls or whatever you have to make circles. I just love them. And I have all different sizes of it too, because I have different sizes of sponges. And then I'm pulling out a stencil. And I just randomly stick it on it. Now, normally whenever I do these backgrounds, I don't know what I'm going to put on the painting itself. I really love doing the backgrounds. And then I'll stare at the background and try to figure out what I want to do with it once it's made. And that stencil is actually one that my husband made. He does 3D printing, so he prints me stencils periodically and surprises me with them. So that's one of the ones that he made me. I watered down the paint. I think I'm about to do spatters. Oh, I am. There are the spatters. So this is the final part of my background. I did forget to get a picture before I sketched on a face, but then if you go to but then this is the face after I've completed her. Hopefully you have fun making some backgrounds, and I'll see you next week. Bye.